This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's tax season, and we're all a bit tired of numbers. But here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it. Guaranteed. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Take your plans out of the group chat and get long weekend ready in new Abercrombie. From day to night, pack new outfits for every part of your itinerary. Grabbing brunch? Throw on the A&F Mila dress. Then head to your dinner reservation in their new bubble hem mini dress. And yes, permission to overpack for pics with the girls. Abercrombie's best-selling Scarlet Squirt deserves a post in your feed. Your plans are worth it. Shop Abercrombie's new long weekend collection online or in store.
This podcast contains adult themes and language, and some of the things that we discuss may be disturbing to some listeners. In this podcast, we discuss sexual assault, torture, race, and murder. Listener discretion is advised. Please take care of yourself.
Welcome, everybody, to Fruitloops episode 200. Thank you so much for listening. Buiti Binafi and bienvenidos, bitches. Now, Fruitloops is a podcast about true crimes committed by people of color and those who are othered and the victims, because contrary to popular belief, not all serial killers are straight, cisgendered, white dudes. These crimes. Is video jarring anybody? So these crimes rarely get any public attention because the news is racist. Allegedly.
And we are Wendy and Beth. She's Wendy, a Black Latinx woman, and I'm Beth, and I just happen to be white.
She's one of the good ones. She's one of those white people who knows, not all white people, and doesn't need to say it every time we talk about this stuff.
And there's Minnie over there too, my sister.
Oh.
Yeah. We're not journalists, investigators, or psychologists, just a couple of gals interested in true crime. Also, the opinions expressed in this podcast are just that, our opinions.
All right, so who or what are we talking about today, Beth?
Well, today's going to be a little bit different. It's our 200th episode, so we're doing a Q&A, answering questions we have collected from our patrons.
Well, let's acknowledge that Veronica is here. Sunflower Angel is here. We just want to thank you all for joining us. If you all want to keep your cameras off, totally fine.
Oh, there's a heart. There's a sparkly heart.
And Veronica gave us a heart too. Veronica gave us a heart too.
Oh, thank you.
So much love here. I'm feeling the vibes. The vibes is good in this Zoom room. Okay.
And today we have Minnie joining us.
Yeah.
Hip hop air horns.
Hip hop air horns for Minnie.
So we're going to answer the questions that were submitted to us. And then at the end, we may be able to take some questions if you have any.
All right. So should we do a how you doing before we dive into the questions?
Sure. Let's do a how you doing.
So how you doing?
I'm all right. I feel like I always say, I'm all right.
You do say it a lot.
Yeah,
but
do.
Sometimes I can tell you're all right.
Yeah.
It's fake. But this, I'm actually a middle of the road on.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
I took yesterday off to watch my grandson because my daughter had to work, and she had meet the teacher night. And so I took him to meet his teacher, and then she had to do the meet the teacher night. And so, yeah, it was a long day yesterday. So I'm kind of wiped out today.
Yeah. Oh, but I've said this numerous times. Like, I wish Beth could adopt me and go with me to parent teacher nights, even though I don't have parent teacher nights for myself. Like I am your grandson is the luckiest little boy in the world. So that's really rad.
Well, I just love him. That's all.
Is that really all it takes to get get in Beth's good graces? She has to love you? Okay. Check.
Well, I love you too. And I love Minnie. So
I think generally the way Beth is, you're in her good graces by default. You really have to fuck up to get in her bad graces.
Yep, that's true.
So if you're on her list, you've
done fucked up. Yeah, you know.
Okay, well, I don't ever want to get there. I'm still
you never will. You never will.
So, Minnie, how you doing?
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing really well. Actually, we had a really nice day today because, the wildfires, it's just been like, I can't even believe there's anything left to be on fire.
To burn.
At this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but finally it seems like we just had a nice day. We had some rain last night, cleared the air out. Was able to actually have the windows open and stuff because we've been keeping the windows closed for the smoke and all of that. But yeah, today was a nice day.
Oh, good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And Wendy?
I love that. I will talk about it later on my vacation spot. I think there's a vacation question.
Okay.
I got stranded in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, like Confederate flag city.
Oh, God.
But we were at a KOA. Everybody was lovely. We had a flat tire. And of all the places to be stranded, this was amazing. So we had a wild weekend, a fun weekend, but like I'm a day behind because I was expecting to get back home on Sunday. I didn't get home until Monday night.
Oh, wow.
And so today's Tuesday. I was like, we're not recording tonight, are we? Because I can't. I literally cannot do one other thing. Nobody asked me no questions.
If we were doing it last night and that happened, we can just reschedule. So.
I know, but on the foodies, I feel bad.
I know.
No, I'm just a day behind, but all is well. So thank you for asking.
Well, good.
All right. Does anybody else want to chime in with a how you doing?
Oh, here's Veronica.
How you doing, Veronica?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be joining one of these chats. I've been listening to you guys since almost the very beginning. And,
wow.
It's just fun to be live with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I couldn't be happier. You know what? I'm going to tell my psychiatrist to stop prescribing me antidepressants. That's how happy I am, Veronica, that you are here. No, I'm just totally joking.
Yeah,
but
don't do that.
We are very happy that you are with us. It means a lot to us. We put a lot of work into all of this. All of us here talking to you. So it means so much to us that you've been rocking with us for so long. We're so
that's
grateful.
awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's all the how you doings, let's get into, I guess, what's the first question?
Yeah, Minnie, our moderator.
All right. Well, this is from Connie in Arizona. So this is for
Connie.
both Beth and Wendy.
Okay.
So let's have Wendy answer first.
Okay.
And then Beth, I'll ask a question again for you after. Okay. So Wendy, what is your favorite episode and why? And which episode would you want to redo?
All right. So my favorite episode of all time, we have 200 now, is the Stephanie St. Clair episode.
That
the
was
black
a good
woman
one.
who was running the gambling stuff in Harlem.
Yeah.
And I just love that she was such a fucking boss. And she was never convicted of murder, right? We just heard stories about her being a puppet master in terms of taking people out who were messing with her game. But she was just so resourceful. And I am not a petty person, so I really admire when people can execute good pettiness. But she was so petty. She sent a telegram to somebody who was on their deathbed.
Yeah.
I love that energy. Someday, maybe in the next life, I would like to be that, but I'm too much of a coward. And I just love Stephanie St. Clair is my all-time favorite episode. And then I would love to redo / take back, AKA never have done it in the first place. That interview with Delmas Coleman. We interviewed a serial killer. Mm-hmm. And at the time we were so new into podcasting. We were like, okay, yeah. And we said yes. And it just felt icky from the moment we got the message with the request. And it was icky all throughout. And I feel like it was a mistake to indulge him. And it just is icky. So I apologize to everyone, the victims, people who listened to that episode and are like, "Ugh, what are these ladies doing?" Because we're always learning all the time, right? And always trying to be better. But that is one I wish we had never done.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so for Beth, same questions. What is your favorite episode and why? And then which episode would you want to redo?
Okay, so I always say my favorite episode is the Twitter killer. I look at the episodes from a different direction. And the reason why is because I'm looking at it from the research side. So the Twitter killer episode for me was a game changer because we did a lot of research on the history and the culture. And Japan. And it really informed how we told the story. And it was like there
was a lot of learning, right?
Yeah,
a lot of
and
learning
it was
about
a
the culture.
Game changer for our episodes going forwards because prior to that, we did a little bit of research on the history, but not like that in depth. And so going forward from there, we did do more in-depth research on the culture. And so my favorite episodes, period, are the ones where I'm learning about a different culture. Recently, the one about Maria Bonita and Lampion.
Oh, yes.
That one was really fun because I loved learning about all the culture and the history and stuff like that. So that's the way I look at it. I don't know if there's a favorite. I don't think I actually have like a favorite episode to listen to.
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
A lot of them are good. Yeah.
Thank you.
They're fun. They're fun to listen to. And then what was the second question again?
Which episode would you want to redo?
Oh, right. Yeah, I agree with Wendy. That episode was a mistake. And we did a collaboration with, what was it? It wasn't our episode, but we were asked to be on their episode. And I think it's gone from the internet now because of what happened with that podcast.
Really? Oh,
but What
happened? What happened?
Oh, gosh.
So
should we spill the tea?
What's his last name? Yeah.
I don't know.
He got in trouble for sexual harassment.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they closed down the show and I think they yanked all the episodes off the internet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we did a show with them and we were really new and I was super duper nervous and
she wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
She always says that. She always says that. Always says that. Beth is like, "Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so Meanwhile, this bitch is holding court in every room we go in. I'm like, what is she talking about? I don't even, maybe my prescription is wrong, but I don't see the nervous.
I'm a really good faker. But yeah, it didn't go over the way I would have liked. So that's all.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
From DNA testing to the Dixie Mafia, Crime Capsule brings you new stories of true crime in American history. I'm your host, Benjamin Morris. Join us for exclusive interviews with authors from Arcadia Publishing, writing the hottest books on the most chilling stories of our country's past. You can find us wherever you get your favorite podcasts or on evergreenpodcasts.com. Crime Capsule. History so interesting, it's criminal.
The next question is from Seth, who I think joined us on the last video club.
Yeah,
So
that's right. Hey, Seth.
One of our riding dies.
Yeah. go.
Ride or die, day one.
Yeah, we
foodie.
love you, Seth.
Mhm.
Seth asks, why are you so cool? Multiple question marks. I love you so much. P.S. This is the Seth from the Facebook group.
We know who you are.
Yeah,
Seth.
we know who you are. P.S. My pronouns are they, he.
Okay.
So again, the question is, why are you so cool?
Okay,
Just
well, my question to you, Seth, is when and where can I schedule a time for you to tell my kids that? I'm over here thinking I am cool mom, and they are not
They're embarrassed.
in agreement at all.
Yeah.
They're completely embarrassed. So I don't know. I never ever thought of myself as cool. I'm actually a big fat dork. Last picked on every team. So I'm just lucky I landed in a collaboration with Bev.
I've never ever thought of myself as cool. I was a big fat nerd.
Yeah,
and always.
Always.
True. I was always trying to fit in, and I think I tried way too hard. I was always like looking for people to validate me, and now I don't. I think it's because I'm old. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
If we could all just skip like the teens, early 20s, and just get to like the late 30s, early 40s, maybe even 60s, skip all that bullshit, have everything figured out. That's what I am longing for. I just want to fast forward and get to the point in life where Beth is.
Yeah. I was laughing when you said picked last for every team, because I remember in gym class when they would pick teams, I remember them fighting over who had to take me.
That happened to me too.
Me too.
Oh my God.
The worst.
Yeah. It's like, fine, I'll just leave.
Yeah. I wish I could have.
Do you guys need somebody to keep score? Because I'm happy to do that.
Right?
Oh my God, I was such a nerd.
I got an F in PE because I'm not an athletic person, but I try my hardest. But I think as far as coolness, I think that what never goes out of style is just being your authentic self.
Yourself. Yeah.
And I feel like we've been doing this for 5 years, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we have.
And because we've been really honest about like, we don't know what we're doing. We are not journalists. We are not any of those big important things. We're just a couple of gals who like talking to each other and are really interested in true crime. And I think just being honest about that, even our like struggles, like my personal struggle, like we're just really honest about all of it. And I think that has gone a long way with our fruities. So
yeah, it took me a really, really long time to figure out that I didn't have to be somebody else.
Oh my gosh. Glory tier. Maybe that jingle from the public service announcement jingle. Boom, boom. With the star shooting. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, Ben. That's my wise friend, everybody. On the Zoom, she's to my left.
Yep. That's my big sister.
But I'm still a big fat nerd.
Same.
And I love that.
So what's next?
The next question is from Sarah M. What's your favorite U.S. vacation destination?
So I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I recently stayed at a KOA in Lake Oconee. Lake Oconee is in Georgia, and it is a Civil War battle spot.
Wow.
So there's a lot of history there, but this KOA had a lake, it had multiple pools, it had a rec center, movies, games, lots of really, really fun stuff. So of all the places to get stranded on a weekend, that was great. The kids were entertained the whole time and pretty much left us alone, but it was beautiful. It was relaxing. It was sunny. It was hot. People were so generous when they realized we were stranded. We had meals cooked.
Oh, wow.
Our kids had people to play with. We had people helping us contacting tire like it was, I don't know what to say, but there are kind people out there.
Nice people out there.
And that made the whole vacation and being stranded so great. So Lake Oconee right now is my favorite vacation spot.
Nice.
in the U.S.
So mine is Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I'd say that.
What?
Do you go with
love
kids?
Disneyland. I go with kids, with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
As
Okay.
adults, yes.
Yeah, as adults.
You don't need kids.
Yeah. We have more fun without kids.
Yeah.
Wait, what about all the lines and standing in line?
It's something you have to deal with, but you go when it's not so crowded, like in the fall,
slower days.
Okay.
or in the spring, early spring,
or in September for CrimeCon
actually,
2023.
Yeah, we are going to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
Good. Selfish plug.
Yeah, when we go to CrimeCon, wait, what's the code that they can use to get a discount on CrimeCon?
Use code Fruit Loops.
Just Fruit Loops. Okay.
Just Fruit Loops. FRUITLOOPS.
Yes,
That's
join
the
us.
code.
Join us.
Fruit Loops. Join us at CrimeCon. We're going to go to Disney World.
We're going to Disney World.
So Disneyland is your favorite?
Yes. I just love it. I don't know. It's almost, I feel like I'm a kid again.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. Like you go to other amusement parks and they're dirty and they don't make you feel like you're someplace else. When you go to Disneyland, I feel like I'm in another world. I don't know.
That's so sweet.
It makes my imagination.
Yeah.
It powers up my imagination.
I love that. When I went to Disneyland, my dad didn't come home. So I we went to Disneyland as a family and then my dad left. Anyway, I hate Disneyland. I have a complicated relationship. Anyway, another reason why I'll stay in the hotel. Yep. What's the next question?
Well, I was kind of scrolling through the questions here, and I think I might jump out of order here because I'm wondering if Veronica, who is here with us today, is Veronica from Oregon, who asked a question. Is that you, Veronica?
It is me.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to ask Veronica's question in case we run out of time. I just want to make sure that we get to her question.
All right.
Okay. So Veronica's question is, I've always wondered, Wendy, how did you meet old Whitey?
I love this question. Thank you, Veronica, for asking it. So I met old Whitey like just before my 21st birthday when I was in college. And I think that my friends were really, really sick of me dating terrible men who cheated, men who were physically and verbally abusive. And then somebody set us up. And old Whitey, like, I'd never met somebody who was just so nice. Like, he was just so nice to me. And I never had
what the hell is going on here?
I've never ever had somebody be so nice. I thought it was a joke. I mean, he was so nice. It was crazy. And, we joke internally, we're friends here. Old Whitey is like an old black man trapped inside a large white man's body. In terms of, like, he loves old soul music and, he can't dance, but he thinks he can. And he's really good at basketball. And like, just, he likes walking around in house slippers, like weird things that old black men do. He does. And he just was so nice. So we met because people were sick of my relationship issues and somebody thought we'd be a good match. And it was. So Here we are 19 years later. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. And
found yourself a good
question. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Let's see. Next one is from Monica in St. Louis, Missouri. Monica would like to know, what is your least favorite thing about hosting a podcast? Actually, there's 3 questions. Let's do them one at a time.
Okay.
And then we'll do the same thing with Wendy answering first and then Beth answering second. So Wendy, what is your most/least favorite thing about hosting a podcast?
Okay, my favorite thing is getting to let loose on the mic with my best friend, Beth. The thing that I hate the most is that it's a grind and it's not quite a full-time paying grind. That's
not even close.
Yeah, it's not a full-time paying grind. So that's the thing I don't like, but still grinding.
Yeah. So
for Beth, yes.
Yeah. My favorite thing is the research and writing the episode. And I do like the editing as well, but for a while, Minnie was doing the research and I was doing the editing. And then Minnie didn't want to do the research anymore because it was getting to be too
It's a lot,
emotionally taxing for her. And I didn't want to give up the editing because I'm a control freak. Not really, but I'm a perfectionist. And I was worried about giving up that control. But it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. It was too much work. So I was like, can you try the editing and I'll go back to researching? And she's doing a great job. It's amazing, really amazing how good of a job you're doing.
How the listeners feel about the like bloopers at the end.
Oh, I love the bloopers.
I love
Minnie.
Yeah, that's all Minnie.
I love that.
And I didn't have time to do anything like that before, so I really appreciate it. And I'm back to doing what I like the most, which is the research. So
yeah, that's great.
Of course, I love talking to my best friend, Wendy.
I was waiting.
Where is that?
Hello.
Those are my two favorite things. And then my least favorite thing, like Wendy, is how much work it is, how much it takes out of our days, our time, but I can't not do it.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. Keep in mind, everybody out there, these two ladies are working full-time jobs and doing this. So it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
It is.
It is a lot. It's a labor of love.
It is definitely a labor of love, for sure.
Yeah. So it's so worth it.
It's really rewarding.
Something keeps happening. Just when I'm like maybe down, maybe we got a negative review. In the next like communication or the next 15 minutes, we get somebody who said, I love what you guys are doing, right?
Yeah.
So we always keep getting really, really wonderful feedback from people who are vibing with us. And that keeps us going. It means
it really
everything.
does. Yeah.
Okay. I think the next two you can answer collectively. So the next one is, have you all thought about doing merch contests / giveaways?
We did do some at the beginning and it was too much work again. And we still think about it. We may go back to it if we have time to do that kind of thing. It's just, it doesn't sound like a lot of work, but when you're adding it on top of everything else we do, it's just another.
But I think we can
thing.
enlist help now.
Yeah.
Now, like we're on a network now.
Oh, that's
Evergreen
true.
Network.
That's
I'm
true. We
wearing
might
their
be able
shirt.
to.
Yeah, they gave us a free shirt.
Yeah, they've been really good too.
Yeah, they're
about
really
helping
supportive.
us
So I
with
think if
things.
we ask them, they would help.
They might
but
be able to
I
help
like
us.
the idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, that would be cool if you could do something like that. All right. And then another collective question. Is there a chance of more episodes where you team up with other BIPOC podcast hosts to present a case?
Yep.
Absolutely. Yes.
Kind of sounds like you've already got something in the works, maybe.
We've been talking to people. Yeah.
Okay. When we go out, like, and this is what is so cool about our Patreons is you allow us to do things like collaborate. We get to go out and meet other podcasters at other events. There was one earlier this year. There's CrimeCon coming up. There's a Black podcast event coming up in Atlanta. And it's places like those where we actually get to meet face to face with these other BIPOC podcasters and strike up a relationship and let them know our listeners would really like it if we did this. So yes, there are conversations happening. And if you have any suggestions that we haven't considered, please send them our way. But absolutely,
we will be doing those.
Yeah. Who else is there? Scam Goddess. Oh my gosh. So yes.
Well, I'll look forward to those for sure. It sounds very cool. And then we've got next is Stephanie from Florida. So Stephanie from Florida says, hi, Wendy and Beth. And she says, Beth, I watched the first two seasons of The Orville during its original run on Fox. I started the third season, but only finished the first 2 episodes because it seemed less comedic and more dramatic. Did you notice the shift? Is it funnier later in the season?
So I did notice the shift, but it didn't bother me because it's based on Star Trek and I'm a big Star Trek fan. And Star Trek was serious with comedic moments. There were some episodes that were really funny, like the Trouble with Tribbles and One of my favorite episodes is the one where they go to this planet and there's a flower that makes them high.
Yeah.
And Spock is like a big hippie. Oh my gosh, so funny. But then most of the episodes were pretty serious with comedic elements. And I think that the Orville was pitched as like a satire of Star Trek, but secretly Seth MacFarlane wanted to do Star Trek. So I think he's really gotten to a place where he's doing Star Trek, but with different characters. And I really like it. I like the serious stuff. I mean, Star Trek was always interested in talking. It's an intellectual show talking about race and gender and all kinds of like.
All the Black people love
Star Trek. Yeah.
Don't get me started about Whoopi Goldberg and the Black guy who was what was he on Star Trek? Who was the guy?
Which one?
The one.
The original Star Trek?
Yeah, the original one. Yes, there was more than one Black person on the cast, and that's why Black people were.
Yeah. I was thinking the Next Generation. What was his name? The one with the glasses. Reading Rainbow guy.
Yeah, LeVar
Burton.
LeVar Burton. Yeah.
That's right.
LeVar Burton.
Yep. Yeah, they had him with the thing over his eyes.
Yes. My
the
God.
Visor.
Yes.
Yeah, the visor, right.
Yeah.
I can't even remember his character's name.
I can't either.
I know what his name is, though.
Yeah. So I think it is actually more Star Trek than the new Star Trek Discovery. Now, Strange New Worlds is a different story. Strange New Worlds is more Star Trek than Discovery, but I was very disappointed with Discovery. And I think the Orville is actually a better Star Trek than Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
So there you go. And it does. The season does not get more comedic. It stays serious. There are still comedic elements, but it's pretty serious. But we get Dolly Parton in one of the episodes. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
She does a cameo in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, tell me where you can find this Orville show.
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm leaving the Zoom now.
Yep. Bye.
Sorry, I could go on and on about Star Trek.
I'll watch it later.
Oh, she can. We made Star Trek paper dolls when we were kids.
We did.
Oh my God. You're making me want to be adopted by your family. Oh my gosh. Stop doing that.
Is the pressure of your wedding day being perfect from sunrise to sunset weighing on your mind? Planning a wedding is stressful, but guess what? We are here to help. On the Bridechilla podcast, we celebrate love and help you plan your wedding day. We're all about keeping it real and having fun every step of the way. So whether you're just starting to plan or counting down the days, we're here to help you stay cool, calm, and collected. We have expert tips and amazing guests, like wedding dress designer Haley Page. Let's get this party started and embrace your inner Bridechilla. Listen to Bridechilla wherever you get podcasts or visit us at thebridechilla.com.
The truth about the Haditha massacre has been covered up, but not anymore.
I know you know what happened.
They went into houses and killed women and children.
What are you thinking?
What a mess.
U.S. Marines murdered innocent civilians in cold blood.
And at the center of it all
is 25-year-old Sergeant Frank Wuderick.
And me. Murder in House 2. A new podcast from Crowd Network.
Well, I guess we better get back to the question and answer.
Okay.
Or we could go on and on about Star Trek. I certainly could. Okay, so the next question is from Kamisha G. Which unsolved case do you find to be the most frustrating? And let's do Wendy first and then Beth. So which unsolved case do you find to be the most frustrating?
I'll say this till I die. The Atlanta child murders. I do not think it was solved. I do not think Wayne Williams did all of those, killed all those 30 babies. And it's still in the news because they're erecting a new monument or something like that somewhere in downtown Atlanta where I live now. It's not been solved. And I'm just like, what are we doing? So that's frustrating.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about you, Beth?
I'm going to be totally lame and say Jack the Ripper.
Oh my God.
I'm still want to know who the hell was Jack the Ripper.
Wait a minute. Have y'all seen in the news that they found the Long Island serial killer?
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to save that for our extra episode, but I wanted to be sure that everybody
knew.
Brought it up. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
But also, there's a murder that happened. Gosh, where did it happen? In another country. It's like Winter Hayfeck murder. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
No. It was an axe murder. Also, that axe murder in
Louisiana
and Austin. The one in Austin. Sorry, we do this all the time when we're recording episodes.
Yeah.
So
one thing I was while she's Googling, Wendy, there's one thing I wanted to tell you is that every time I open Instagram now, I hear you in my head going, Instagram.
Me too.
Oh my God.
Let me open up my Instagram.
Oh my God.
Did you come up with that yourself? Did you just do that and now you do that? Or?
I think one of my kids said it because they were mad. Oh, you want me to go to sleep and brush my teeth? Meanwhile, mom's on Instagram. Oh my gosh, these kids are so rude.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
I can't find it, but it's a murder. It's an axe murder that happened. An entire family was killed.
Oh,
and there were like footprints in the snow and it was really weird. I wish I could remember.
Put a pin in it. It sounds very interesting.
Well, you can revisit that
later on.
Yeah. Or add it as a footnote or something.
It's not all lost, Beth. I promise.
Okay.
We can recover. We can rebuild.
Yeah, we'll be okay. Are ready? Break.
All right.
Fruit Loops on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Fruit Loops.
I didn't do it. I didn't know what was going on the superhero show. I'm the one going, what?
Are we leaving? What's happening? Okay, back to the questions.
Okay.
I think it's Elise.
Okay.
From A Little Bit of Everywhere. Do you guys know the correct pronunciation?
I don't know the correct pronunciation, but if it's a Patreon, I know Alice or Elise will forgive us.
Okay. I certainly hope so. I apologize. So Alice would like to know. Oh, let me read this whole thing. What are each of your signs? I was raised in Killeen, Fort Hood, Texas, not an Army brat though, and want to know if either of you have any questions for me. Wendy, do you listen to or know the podcasters from Go Home Bible? You're drunk?
Yep.
You and Tori give off very similar vibes. Lastly, I'm sure you've explained this before I found you, but how did you two meet and end up doing this awesomeness? Okay, so first, what are each of your signs?
I'm a Gemini through and through.
Gemini.
I couldn't even pretend to be something else if I tried.
All right.
So I'm an Aries, but I'm on the cusp of Pisces. And I think I'm actually more of a Pisces than I don't think I'm an Aries at all, really.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. Is Pisces a water sign? It's a fish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Aries, I think, is a fire sign.
Okay. Because I'm a Gemini and I understand that Aries and Gemini are okay. Old Whitey's an Aries and he's mad a lot. So I'm surprised that you're an Aries.
Yeah, I don't think I'm an Aries at all.
There's some qualities.
Like what? Like what?
Yeah. Do you secretly say "get off my lawn" when nobody's looking?
Wow.
Aren't they supposed to be like a little bit stubborn?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So yeah.
Am I stubborn?
She doesn't see it.
A little bit.
She doesn't see it.
No, I don't. Yeah. I'm not stubborn.
You shut up.
Oh.
Yeah.
You shut your pie hole right now.
You know
and
what?
you should see her go if she thinks that somebody that she cares about is being threatened. You should see her go.
It's embarrassing.
It's impressive.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's what I've always been amazed at people who can lose their tempers, and Aries seem to be really good at that. Like
losing their tempers.
It's almost like they forgot about a thing called consequences and they just go off. It is crazy.
Yep. This we were at the bus stop when we were young, and this kid threw a snowball with a rock in it at me. And this kid was a big kid, and she like went after him like physically.
Oh, I grabbed him by the collar of his shirt.
She did. And
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't remember what she said, but it was loud and it was very effective.
Oh my God. I love that's my friend, everybody.
That's my little sister. Throws rocks at my sister. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I think they asked about Fort Hood.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that was the signs. So she says she was raised in Killeen, Fort Hood, and so wants to know if either of you have any questions for her.
My question is, what is going on over there? And is it in the water? And do you know anything? Because there's so much stuff like sexual assaults and murders. Like what is going on in Fort Hood that this keeps happening?
Does it worry you?
Yeah, that is my question. What is going on over there?
Okay.
Please tell us.
If you want to,
you need a safe haven. Come with me at Stone Mountain. There's the largest Confederate monument in the world is here. Come be safe.
So get at Wendy and Beth on social media and address
I don't know if it's any better. It's probably the same systemic problems everywhere, but we hear about Fort Hood a lot.
Yeah.
So I am just curious, what is going on? So what's the other question?
Okay.
Go home, Bible, you're drunk. I love Tori.
Yeah.
She's hilarious.
Okay.
And speaking of collabs, I think that was a question earlier. I would love to do a collaboration with Tori and Go Home, Bible, You're Drunk. Tori is, I think she's a big weed enthusiast also. So I would love to, actually, now that this question's been asked, I all of a sudden have the balls to ask Tori for a collab. So I'm going to do that when we get
all right.
Excellent.
Sweet.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. All right. And then the last one is, how did you two meet and end up doing this awesomeness?
So we met at work. Yeah.
Work, water cooler, chitter chatter, bada bing, bada boom, podcast.
that's the short story.
Easy,
So yeah, we worked together. We knew each other for how long did we know each other before we started the podcast?
Probably 8 years. And Beth is super duper private and secret. Like you don't even know what car is hers in the parking lot. She like sneaks away, and she's just very like, if you need something,
I'm just minding my own business.
But other than that, she's just like stealthily moving through the office. She knows everything. She can do anybody's job. So everybody knows of Beth, right? But nobody knows. Nobody really knows. Everybody knows that she's capable of doing everything, but nobody knows much about her. She's not like Kaiser Soze, but Kaiser Soze. She's Kaiser Soze adjacent. That's what
yeah, so we just became friends, and we're talking about podcasts and true crime podcasts, and we were wondering why there weren't any about serial killers of color, so we did it ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been so fun. Yeah. That's 5 years of my life.
Mine too.
Believe like everybody by now has seen the Apple promo, right?
The promo,
the Apple.
Oh my God, we had so much fun.
It was like, are you kidding me? From talking at the water cooler about serial killers to this,
yeah.
It was crazy. It's just crazy. So yeah, I've considered myself the luckiest gal in the world.
Me too. And it gives me purpose. It makes me feel like I have a purpose.
Yeah, same. I feel really good about it.
The next one is from an anonymous patron. I'm just going to read this whole thing here. I don't have any questions on my mind, but I just love hearing you two talking about your interests. Anything you want to share that doesn't cost too much emotional labor works for me. And may I say, when you brought up the Behind the Bastards podcast, I was so pumped. It's one of my favorites. Robert Evans is brilliant, calls out asshole behavior, and I've learned so much. The Clarence Thomas series gets 5 stars from me, But have you heard the episode about Bob Mosley and how that absolute bastard made transportation impossible for people in New York City? I had no idea.
It's
I
wild.
haven't listened to it yet. I have not yet. It's in my feed though, in my queue.
It's in your queue?
Uh-huh.
Excellent. Okay. Because the description is rich, racist people fuckery knows no bounds.
You're telling me.
So one of my favorite Behind the Bastards episodes are the ones about Ben Shapiro.
Oh, yeah, those were good.
Because he wrote a book, and so they just read his book and make fun of it.
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
it's very fun.
I haven't listened to that one. I'll have to check
Oh my God, so good.
And then the last bit is, anyway, I love what you do and so appreciate you both.
No, thank you.
We
That's from
love
Anonymous.
You, Anonymous. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Robert Evans is brilliant. I have learned so many things from him that I feel like he just makes me smarter just by hearing him introduce the show.
Yeah.
He's a gem.
There was something else in there.
Our interests. What are we?
Oh, our interests, right. Go ahead, Wendy.
I was just going to say, I'm trying to find a place where I can watch this Oppenheimer without having to go to the movies to do it. So that's what I'm really into right now. Also very obsessed with Real Housewives of Atlanta and a podcast called The Bravo Docket about all the divorces and all the Real Housewives who are going to jail. It's a very interesting take on Bravo and law. And then I am obsessed with getting outside and getting sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Cool. So I like doing the research, I probably would be doing a lot of it anyway, because I find myself going into rabbit holes on the internet.
Uh-huh.
So I like that. I like history. I love history. I like travel. I like art, making art, graphic art and painting, crafts, all kinds of crafts. I've been doing crafts my whole life. My mom, she taught us crafts when we were little. And like when we moved a lot, and when we would move someplace and we didn't have any friends to play with yet, she would take us to the craft store and find us crafts to do. And we made our own paper dolls, like Minnie mentioned. So I just still, like, one of my biggest things is doing crafts. Right now I'm knitting, but in the past I've done crochet, beadwork. I made Fimo beads, back in the day, back in the 90s.
I was going to say, our logo was created by Beth. That logo that you see everywhere that we're working on getting trademarked, that is Beth's creation. And it is amazing. And when we are out in public, people are like, looks like an artist, like a real artist. Like, you know what? She did.
And I like camping and stuff like that, but I haven't been able to do that in a long time. So
anything else you want to share before I move on to the next one?
I'm dying to play Uno with Beth one day.
To play Uno specifically?
I don't know.
Bring some Uno cards to CrimeCon.
I will. And there's 3 decks in this stack that I have. In fact, when we were stranded this week, it was storming. That was one of the issues. It's a terrible storm came and rained on our tent. And I was like, I gotta get the Uno. So I'm like, my hair's
not the Uno.
Not the Uno. So I'm like running out of the rain. My glasses are all, rained on. I can't see. I'm like, Uno. And Uno is okay. So.
Excellent. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. So cards. You like playing cards.
I love games.
Uno.
I love playing games. Period. I love games.
Okay.
Sign me up for any game.
World of Warcraft?
I don't know how to play, but if somebody shows me, I will play. I love games.
Funnily enough, I don't like games.
Well, you like board games.
It depends on the game. I like games like Pictionary and
okay.
What else?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah.
Apples to apples. What's that?
I will not play Trivial Pursuit with Beth because there's no way I'm going to win. She knows so many things. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay. When we go to CrimeCon this year, we have to just have a night to get away and play games.
About what was that one about humanity? What's that one?
Cards
Against Humanity. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Okay.
I don't like real competitive games.
No, I like cooperative games.
Yeah. And I'm not a competitive person. I mean, the way I've always looked at it since I was a child is somebody has to win. and somebody has to lose. If you want to win that bad, that's fine. I just want to play.
Just want to play.
Yeah.
I guess my experience with games has always been with people who are really competitive and made it miserable. So that's why I don't like most games.
Yeah, I get it. My whole family is competitive athletes. Like I said, I just am happy to be here. So let's play.
Okay, I'll play with you then.
Okay, good. What's the next question?
So next question is from Janine. Janine has a few questions. First one is, I know you both have jobs, but do you plan on doing any touring or meetups in the future?
Yes, we do. What it really comes down to is, where are the Fruities at? And do you guys want a live show? Because if you do, we can make it happen. Don't tell anybody this, but we've had a really good year in terms of things lining up financially for the show, right? So we could do it. We just need to make sure that the desire for an audience is there. And then we can figure out the rest, like where and, start selling tickets and all that stuff. But if you guys want it, we can make it happen. That's all I have to say about that.
All right. Yeah. And then the next question is, you don't generally focus on white people or white killers, but I'm curious if you think Scott Peterson did it, meaning murdered Lacey Peterson.
Yes,
totally
that nigga did it. That nigga did it.
Yeah, he's totally guilty.
Yeah, totally guilty. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Next one is, what are your thoughts on crimes and severe mental illness? And how do you ladies think their cases should be handled? That's a tough one.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
It is tough.
I don't think they should be thrown in jail.
Mm-hmm.
There's mental illness involved. Mm-hmm. They need to be treated. Yeah. Although they probably shouldn't be out in the public either. So it's a tough one. It really is a tough one. But when there is mental illness involved, I think you have to take that in consideration. If you just throw them in jail, it's just, it's terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're not going to believe this, but I am a prison abolitionist.
What?
And I think, it's crazy.
You've never said that before.
Are you? Yeah. This is going to be a surprise and a shocker, but I think that we should abolish prisons. I do think that there is places that we if we were a good society, could create places where people who have really severe mental illness could go. And ideally, there would be a place to rehabilitate those people. If they could not be rehabilitated, then there should be a place that's humane for them to stay and live out the rest of their days with people who are capable of managing their illness, right?
Yeah.
But I also think it should be asked of the person who was victimized or the victim's surviving loved ones, what does justice look like for you? What do you want to see? And I think all of us in some ways have been touched by violent crime, or we know somebody who's been hurt by a violent crime, right? Asking the person who's been harmed, what does justice look like for you? Maybe they want their community to be invested in. Maybe they want mental health services for their community members, or housing for people who are on the margins of society or living with unstable housing, or health and economic resources, all kinds of things to prevent this violent or terrible thing from happening to somebody else. So that's my thoughts.
Okay. And I like Wendy's answer.
Okay. Don't listen to me. I am a dummy.
No,
that's my thought.
So very much not true.
I'm an American vigilante. I have a question for you. What would you do if someone you cared about was abducted, taken from you? Would you call me? Would you care about how I got them back? Download American Vigilante now.
Okay, so the next question is from Tina B, who asks, are there any cities, regions that you would like to do a historical deep dive on for the podcast, but you haven't yet found a murderer/serial killer of color from that place?
I'm constantly looking for serial killers in areas we haven't touched on, and Europe, white Europe. We don't get a lot of serial killers of color there. So I'd like to find one like in Germany or something like that, So just to talk about the culture, because I like talking about that part and how it affects. I'm sure there's people of color in Germany.
Yeah.
So I'd like to talk about their experience.
Yeah.
And other places that are majority white.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because, if there's not a large Black population or a population that is of color, then you're not going to find serial killers of color there because there just aren't enough people.
Right. It's hard to find because what do we say? It starts with an R and ends with an H.
Yeah. And I feel like the United States has so many of them because not only because we have not a huge population of people of color, but, it's not like Europe. And then also we have this long history of racism that is not present in other countries. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that before we started. There's so many things I realized after we started this show, like that it didn't even occur to me that we,
That's my friend. That's my friend. Oh my God. She's going to make me cry.
Aw.
That, we have this long history of racism that didn't, slavery didn't end that long ago, historically speaking, know. So
me personally, I would like to learn more about indigenous, specifically indigenous communities around the world, right? Indigenous communities in South America, down under. And I would love to get into the weeds and like a conversation with you, Beth, about, the historical crimes about colonization and all that stuff and how, because it's global. This white supremacy icky thing that we're all kind of dealing with now is global. And we maybe feel it more and see it more because of where we live, but it is global. So I want to know more about true crime in other areas that are touched by colonialism, where indigenous communities and voices have been stepped out, but they are still victims of true crime, right?
Yeah. Right.
So I'm curious about that someday. Keep us posted also.
Yeah.
If you have
any suggestions, please let us know for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Next is Marley in Massachusetts. Marley would like to know, if you could interview any serial killer, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Well,
we wouldn't do it.
We wouldn't
because we regret the one we did do.
That's a good question. I was going to say, can all of the first few presidents, Andrew Jackson, can Christopher Columbus come up to the altar? Ronald Reagan, who let thousands of LGBTQ people die of AIDS and didn't do anything. All those people in leadership with blood on their hands, I would like to ask them, what were they thinking? But as far as like for reals interviewing a serial killer, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to hear from victims and survivors. Whose voices, right? We want to elevate those people whose stories normally get told.
That's a good idea, actually, is to see if you could do something like that. Interview.
And I don't want
survivor.
Yes, we are available, but I don't know anything about like approaching. I would not approach anybody. Re-traumatize anybody. But
if they wanted to,
if they wanted to, I would be happy to tell their story and just turn off. I would shut up and mute myself.
What?
Let them I would just let them tell. You're not going to believe this. Not going to believe this. But yes, elevating people whose voices aren't normally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. And this is the last one on the list here. This is from Marlene.
Wow. We got through them all.
Yeah, we got through them all. Yeah.
Right on.
So Marlene, who's a frequent visitor to the video club.
She's a day one. Yeah, she's a day one fruity from the first day.
Yes.
From the first day. And she's been so helpful. Like those beats in between transitions.
Yeah. She's done some of the music. Yeah.
Yes. She's really, really been there for us. And we're so grateful for
Marlene's
you,
awesome.
Marlene. Thank you.
We love you, Marlene.
Love you.
So she has a question. What is a self-promise that you have broken and still keep breaking, and why? She wants you to dig deep.
Well, yeah, I'm going to dig deep.
Okay.
So for me, and I think I've been pretty honest with this on the show, is that I've had issues with alcohol and depression and anxiety. And what I always promise myself is that I'm not going to let myself get that low. I'm not going to let myself get that drunk. I'm not going to let myself get that manic. And it always happens, right? And so recently I went on a retreat, and one of the things I wanted to get rid of was hatred for myself, getting rid of self-hate. Like I literally couldn't look in the mirror and see somebody like worth being kind to or anybody worth being, it sucked. And then also pretending it was also taxing. So I went on this retreat and I can say that those promises, I guess what I used to promise myself is that I'm not gonna fuck it up this time. After this retreat, I don't make promises like that anymore. I feel like I am a human worth the breath that I breathe and all that stuff. So I just don't think of it in that terms anymore. I'm just trying to be kind to myself, not really making promises that I can't keep, just kindness and grace. So that's where I'm at with this one.
And Beth, what is a self-promise that you have broken and still keep breaking, and why?
I feel like I've battled, like all my wars have been with myself.
Yeah.
My entire life, constantly fighting with myself about different things. It's better now, but I still have a hard time being kind to myself and taking care of myself, like getting exercise and eating right and stuff like that. I'm better, but I still battle with it. Recently, I stopped dieting because I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about dieting culture and how unhelpful it is. Yeah. And gave hints about how to handle that, because they're like, just you can eat whatever you want, whenever you want. And I'm like, I can't do that.
Wait, what? Did somebody sign the permission slip to eat all the Oreos? Okay.
But they were like, just before you eat something, like, do you really want to eat this? Why are you eating this? And if you really, really want it, go ahead and eat it. But if you feel like you're just eating it because of something else, you might choose something different. But I've taken that to heart and I've been doing that. I used to go to the gym like every day. And since COVID, I haven't gotten back into the gym and I can't make myself go.
You can.
I can, but I haven't been able to make myself go. So
yeah.
I won't exercise at home. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just don't.
Hey.
I'm like, I'll do it today. No. I'll do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so familiar, right?
Yeah.
I hope people listening to this and even the people on the Zoom call, like, haven't we all like been like, I'm just going to do it tomorrow or not today. And then
I'm really, really
comes,
good at procrastinating.
Yeah.
Veronica has a crying laughing emoji going on.
Yeah. I'm going to do it tomorrow for like 2 years.
I didn't eat one vegetable. As soon as they said the pandemic was here, I threw out all the frozen vegetables in my fridge. No, not one vegetable, not one leafy green for years until maybe 6 months ago. And, we're okay, right? You're still here. You're still, breathing. You're still strong. You're still doing something wonderful with this podcast and our listeners. And we all are, here and appreciating you. So try again tomorrow. That's all.
Yeah, I will.
Be kind to yourself. You better be nice to my friend Beth.
Okay.
Or
right?
else.
You better be nice to my sister.
Or else.
Mad.
Okay.
You will hear from my lawyer, who isn't a real person, but you'll hear from them.
I guess the theme is forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all been through,
Yep.
I think, collectively a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that true crime, there's this video going around on social media about why this psychiatrist, she's a Black psychiatrist, talking about, isn't that kind of fucked up that we all go to sleep listening to true crime? It's because it's trauma. It's familiar to us. And there's something wrong with that.
Huh.
I don't think there's something wrong with that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I still love true crime, right? We're all in this weird community. And I think it's important for us to just have grace for each other, for victims, for the system, for wanting to make things better, for ourselves wanting to be better, for all the things. We're just doing our best, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't killed anybody. So there.
Yeah. So that TV show that you talked about, where a podcast with a serial killer, they go to CrimeCon.
Oh, I think it's called True Story.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they go to CrimeCon, and CrimeCon is nothing like how they show it there. You disagree? Because I feel like the people at CrimeCon are really empathetic and just like what you were just talking about. But they made it look like they're all like wanting blood and
murder. Tell me
Yeah.
about the worst thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
I thought that there was some satire in there that I.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was funny.
Yeah, it was
funny.
it was hilarious. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, no, I don't think it's exactly like that, but it was pretty cool, and I'm hoping that show will attract more people to
More
be
people to CrimeCon. They made it look pretty bad.
They made it look crazy. Yeah,
I had a really positive experience when we went to
CrimeCon.
Yeah,
I
did too.
I was not expecting that. It was not what I expected it to be. So
yeah,
in a good way. So
yeah, it was, to your point, Minnie. It was about kindness and grace. And what I found is that people there really wanted to share their experiences.
Yeah.
Like Daniel Robinson, the Black man who went missing. We had the opportunity to interview his father, and it really was just about him telling us about his son, who he loves very much, who is missing, and the people who should be doing stuff are not. And so it's a lot of that, people wanting to share and help. So I thought that was cool, and hoping for more of that when we go to Florida.
Yeah.
We're going to Florida.
Use the code Fruitloops.
Fruitloops.
What, a discount? How much of a discount? Do you know?
10%, I think.
10%,
I think. Yeah.
10% on your tickets to CrimeCon, Orlando, Florida. So that's the end of the list that we
Can't believe we got through it.
I know, we did.
That's awesome.
And Veronica had a question answered. I want to check in with Sunflower Angel, and I also want to thank Veronica and Sunflower Angel for sticking with us this entire time.
Yeah,
more than an hour.
Thank you.
Just a little bit more than an hour at this point.
Yes, thank you for being so generous with your time, y'all. We appreciate you so much, more than you know. I don't think we can express.
Sunflower Angel, if you want to ask a question, but you don't want to go out. Oh, you're off mute.
Hi, I was just waiting until there was a moment for me to jump in there.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, as much as I love being called Sunflower Angel, it's just my full name, like put together. So it's Sunflower and then Run Hell.
It's not Sunflower Angel.
Sunflower Run Hell. Oh, that's beautiful.
Sunflower Run Hell.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Excellent.
For setting us straight.
Surprise reveal at the end for the folks at home.
There you go.
Turns out we've been mispronouncing something the entire time. That's never happened before.
Well, I did have a question, and I just wanted to maybe end this on a lighthearted note and just ask, what is your number one no skip best album of all time? You put that album on and it's good mood all the way through.
Ooh, well, best album. Gosh, right now, I don't know if I have an album that is no skips. I do have songs that are constantly on repeat. To name a few, I wanna be your sledgehammer. Adele.
Peter Gabriel?
I don't know. Something like Peter Gabriel. Good call. Sledgehammer. And then Adele. Adele can do no wrong in my book. Adele and Beyonce are not many skips on their discography. What about you, Beth?
I was trying to think of something, and the first thing that popped into my head was Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
Is that the one where they were all fucking each other and
each other?
Turns out you make really good music when you do that.
Yes, that's a good one. That is a very good one. Yes.
How about you, Minnie?
So the band Rush, pretty much anything they do. If I hear them on the radio, I have to completely listen to the song. Like if I'm at my destination, I cannot stop the song mid-song. I have to completely listen to the song before
Officer, I can't roll down my windows.
I'm listening to Rush.
Sorry, it's Rush. You understand.
You understand.
You get it. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's not feel good necessarily, but it's just, I don't know. There's something about them that
she's always loved Rush.
Yeah.
Oh, is this a concert that you two went to when you were younger?
Did we go to
wild young white girls?
No, the first concert I went to was Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, Blue Oyster
and
Cult.
I went with my sister.
Yeah,
Beth.
That was the first concert we went to together. I think.
It was my first concert.
Wasn't that the Black and Blue tour?
Probably.
With Black Sabbath and Blue Oyster Cult.
Was it? No. Was it? Oh, it might have been.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, I know Foghat opened for them.
Yeah.
And
that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Back in the day.
I don't remember Black Sabbath. I just remember Blue Oyster Cult. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we went to see Blue Oyster Cult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just you guys,
she's speechless.
I was adopted by your parents.
Our parents didn't want us to go.
I'm just watching your eyes looking at each other when you guys talk. Oh my God, I just want to hug the screen. Let me in, please. Can I be in your family?
Well, I'm on board with having you be adopted by our parents.
Okay.
So
that's
I'm on board too.
Yeah, my mom's on board. She's fine.
But they're dead.
Really nice
but
lady.
they'd be cool with it.
They'd be cool, dead parents.
Yeah, totally. That's all I need. That was a great question, Sunflower.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad we got to end it on that note.
Yeah. Anything else that we
Veronica
Sunflower on Hell?
Nope. Okay.
Sunflower Angel, thank you. Veronica, thank you. Beth, thank you. Minnie, thank you.
Thank you.
Wendy, thank me.
Wendy.
Also, we just love and appreciate all of our foodies so much. So thank you. Where can the people find us, Beth?
Our website is fruitloopspod.com, and we use Fruit Loops Pod for all of our social media. The footnotes for each episode can be found on our website. Plus, check it out for the different ways that you can support the show and become a Fruit Loops patron. You can also support us by supporting our sponsors or by giving us a 5-star review. 5 stars only, please. And don't forget to subscribe. You can also get at us on the socials, contact us through our website, or leave us a voicemail at
602-935-6294. All right, y'all. This is a weekly podcast and new episodes drop every Thursday. So until next time, look alive, y'all. It's crazy out there.
I'm going to be asking the questions as if I'm the person asking the questions. Well, you heard it here first.
Back to you, Tom.
Yeah. Back to you in the studio, Minnie.
Well, Wendy. I don't know. I don't know how to continue that.
The newscaster
Hurricane,
voice.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Whoa. How you
How's it
doing,
going?
Veronica?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be joining one of these chats.
You know what? I'm going to tell my psychiatrist to stop prescribing me antidepressants. That's how happy I am, Veronica, that you are here.
Sunflower angel.
You a sunflower. I get you loving it is too much.
Sunflower.
And you'll be left in the dust. I guess I'm lost by you. You a sunflower. You a sunflower. Now my Post Malone impression. Every time I leave it on you, you don't make it easy for me. Wish I could be there for you. Give me a reason. So, and every time I sing that song, my kids, Mom, shut up! Mom, shut up!
And you're like, no, I refuse.
I will not.
I cannot. Can't stop, won't stop.
Sunflower. Yeah.
First of all, as much as I love being called Sunflower Angel, it's just my full name, put together. So it's Sunflower and then Run Hell.
Surprise reveal at the end for the folks at home.
There you go.
Turns out so we've been mispronouncing something the entire time. That's never happened before.
Never happened. 201. Why did I say that? 200. Okay, that's not a 0. That's an O. Okay.
200?
200.
200.
Yeah.
200. Speaking of being kind to yourselves, get some sleep.
Okay.
Drink your water.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Moisturize your skin.
Daily.
Take those vitamins.
All right.
Do those affirmations.
Okay.
Okay. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Good to see you on the internet, everybody.
See you on the internet.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, podcast listeners, I'm Paul Brandis introducing my podcast, Countdown to Dallas. It's a fascinating, in-depth look at the seemingly unconnected events that led to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It's based on my book of the same title. In that book and in this podcast, I go all the way back to 1939, when Lee Harvey Oswald was born into a troubled and dysfunctional family. I'll follow his transient and often violent teenage years and young adulthood, painting a fuller picture of the man who would later become Kennedy's killer. I also take a look at events unfolding in that era, like Cuba and Vietnam, and I'll unpack the conspiracy theories too, not one of which has ever been conclusively proven. Subscribe to Countdown to Dallas at evergreenpodcasts.com or your favorite listening app, October 31st.
Hi, I'm Matt Harris. Seton Tucker and I host the podcast Impact of Influence, which for 2 years covered in depth Alec Murdaugh, who was eventually convicted in 2023 of murdering his wife Maggie and son Paul. That story continues to evolve, and we will cover that. Plus, we will tell you stories of other true crime events that have happened in the South. Please join us on Impact of Influence. And give us a follow on the Impact of Influence Facebook page.